So, mysterious user that's sitting off the what's it? It's now being recorded. Yes. Okay. Your tutor or your master was right. You get things from the Tao. The Tao will show you. If you allow it, if you listen, the Tao will speak to you. If you don't listen, it won't. It shuts up very, very quickly. And having that mental capacity to be vulnerable enough to listen is very important in internal martial arts and internal works. Because if you can't listen, you can't learn. Because everything that you need to learn is taught from the outside by a teacher, but from the inside by you. And if you're not listening, you're not going to be able to get it at all. You'll just end up copying, and that's a waste of your time and a waste of your money. And you'll never get the real part of it that actually becomes part of you. Tai Chi Rebels strapline is be a better human. And that's what we're trying to make. We're trying to give people the opportunity to be a better human than they are. Not a better human by what we sort of decide, but what they decide. So it's very much about empowering you, giving you the ability to be who you are. So thanks, Trish. I appreciate that. And welcome to our membership. It's building quite quickly at the moment. We've got about 5,000 members, but we've only got about 20 paying members. Our school, as you'll find out, is very relaxed and not strict, because that's not our job. Our job isn't to discipline you. It's not here to sort of do anything to you. It's here to give you opportunities. And the Tao will give them to you as we go. Branka and I are not Taoist, but we live a very Taoist life. As I was saying, from last week, we did straight lines and we did a little bit of circle. So this week, I'm going to take what we did last week, I'm going to take it a step further. When you read the classics, or you read a lot of the scrolls, it talks a lot about absorbing this into your bones. And a lot of people, they have difficulty sort of understanding. They think it's energetic and things like this. And there is a correlation to Tai Chi masters, Qigong masters, meditation masters, whose bones tend to be very dense. So that does have some sort of physical effect, that's sure. But when it talks about bones in Chinese, it's talking more about you as a person. So it's talking about absorbing this as part of you. And it's an evolution. It's not something you just start and you finish. It's something that evolves within you. And your journey begins with the movements that you're doing. So it's the straight movements that we did last week, beginners. This is right from the very beginning. You just need to learn a bit of choreography. You just need to learn a little bit of how do you do this? How do you do that? Now we need to take that a little further, because we've got a bit of a curve in there. So we're going to look further now into circles, and we're going to look at body parts. We talk often about pushing from the floor, but it's not often explained sort of how you do that pushing from the floor. But the beginning of it, of course, is connecting with the energy. You've got to understand that as a human, you're like a lightning rod. You will conduct energy across you. Within you is a whole set of alchemy. That alchemy that you've got is what you will decide it's going to be. This is what this training is for, so that you can do that. The triple Dantiens system that you all have as human beings is there for you to manipulate. The two ends, the yin end and the yang end, they operate just because they exist. The central Dantien, though, is under your direct control. And it's mostly left out by people who do this. And a lot of the martial artists in Tai Chi never venture above the lower Dantien, which is a real pity, because they're missing a huge amount. The real internal work is when you align those Dantiens. I think I did a live, it was either a live or a webinar, and it's in there. It's about Qi. Always worth a look through so you can see that. When you get the alignment correctly, the energy will flow, because energy flows. That energy flow will be direct, as you are as a person. your learning will then direct that within this vessel that you call a human body. So then you can learn to manipulate it, and then you can actually use it. And that's what internal arts are about, learning how to do that. So you can use what you are, not what you're not. Okay, so you're not accidentally plugged into energy, you're purposely plugged into energy. As you have a third Dantien, the Po, the mixing bowl Dantien, that is a gift, because human beings, as far as I know, are one of only 3 beings on the planet that can control that themselves consciously. I'll tell you about the other 2 another time, but otherwise there'll be another half hour. All that being said, let's have a look at the movements that we started with last week, and then we're going to take them from the curve into the circles, and then from the circles we're going to take them from side to side, so we can see how it shifts, okay? Pushing from the floor. Okay, so if everybody is ready, my very strange picture here. My feet, unfortunately, I can't get the AI camera to pick up my feet for some reason. So you're going to have to put up with everything above the ankle instead. But that's fine. We can work like that. So if you remember Tai Chi stance, now this is an important point that isn't made an awful lot. And a lot of people, when they come into a Tai Chi stance, they'll either take a too wide a stance, too narrow a stance, and they'll also unlock their knees too much. When you actually come into your stance, make sure it's a shoulder width and a half apart, no further than that. Okay, the long, low ones, they're great for demonstrations, but actually for work and for doing this, a shoulder width and a half apart is the maximum you need to go. Okay, so the energy can actually plug in properly. Grip with the toes and push that wonderful bubbling wells into the floor so that you can feel the floor beneath you. And when it comes to your knees, don't do this, which is what I see a lot of people doing. Okay, bring your knee back and lock it first. Now, all I want you to do is soften it. And you'll see that movement forward was very small. If you watch again from here, I lock it and I unlock it. So it's just an unlock. Don't sit too far into the knees. This is why Tai Chi practitioners tend to have problems with their knees. One of the first things they do is that. And it immediately stresses the knee, and it immediately will cause you physical damage. So please don't do that. All right, I'm going to turn around again. So you've unlocked the knees. This area here across there, as you know, is called ban. Like you're sitting on a small horse, just open that up a bit. Okay, so now it's a U rather than a V. So you need to U it. So it's like this underneath. You should feel quite slightly undone like that. But again, don't sit like this. Don't push down. Horse stance is for a different thing altogether. This is internal work. Unlock the knees and just loosen the band. Now, what I want you to do is to put your hands behind your back. And I don't want you to move anything of your body at all. I just want you to push your right foot into the floor here so that it pushes the body over. That's it. And then do exactly the same with the left foot. Push it into the floor and let it come back into the right. This is the beginning of pushing against the floor. A lot of people, what they do is they lean the body here. So they use these large muscles here, this large muscle here, to sort of do this. And you're not pushing against the floor at all. If you do that, you'll feel your connection with the floor is quite light. But if you go back into putting your weight fully into your right leg, grip with the toes, push that bubbling well down into the floor so you can feel that heavy connection. And now literally, instead of moving your weight across, just push that foot against the floor here. And what that will do is push your weight across, but you'll still have a good connection with the floor. It's not a light connection anymore. Now look for exactly the same connection in your left foot and push against the floor and come back to the right, and push and come back to the left, and push, come back to the right. You should feel nothing through the body at all. You should only feel the floor on the soles of your feet. If you feel anything moving within the rest of your body, go back, do it again. You're not pushing against the floor, you're moving your body instead. So push, 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 push. Okay, good. Now let's bring in these pesky arms of ours. Neutral stance, stand in the center, weight in the center. Now, remember we talked about straight arms like this, and then we put in the circles like this, finishing the circle underneath. Always, always finish the movement. Don't cut it short. Let it finish. To start, from here, lift the elbows out slightly. Here. Just not much, just a little bit like that. So there's just a little bit of air underneath the armpits. And the fingertips are resting lightly on the outside of the thigh. Now connect to the floor with both feet, like we've just been doing before, so you can feel it. Grip with those toes. Feel that stability. All right, check it out. Make sure that you're secure. You're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to wobble. Everything is secure. You're pushed down into the floor. You're part of the earth. Straighten the neck. Pick up the head. Loosen the shoulders. Now, taking that first movement and that first circle, we're going to pull the arms up like this. All right. Now, just as we moved the body by pushing into the floor, we're going to move the arms by sinking the body. Do not raise the arms yourself. Allow the arms to raise because the body is sinking. This, for beginners, is quite a concept to begin with, but it's a very vital one. So straight from the beginning, as a beginner, you need this information because this is your energetic pump. So here, plug in again, and literally ignore the hands. You know they're going to float up. Sink the body here and let the hands come up. Let's do that again. Relax, grip, make sure you've got the connection with the floor. Open up the sides, sink the body, raise the hands. Shoulder height. Now, be honest with yourself. When you sink the body, when the sink finishes, the hand rise finishes too. It doesn't go on afterwards. So if your sink only goes to here, that's correct. If your sink only goes to here, but you raise the hands afterwards, that's incorrect. You've broken the energetic chain that you need. Straight away, you've just turned it off. So again, connect with the floor, connect with the yin. Straighten the spine, pick up the head, open the sides, like this. Now, if this is nice and rounded, you should be able to sink. So, sink. There. 3 times. Same thing. 1. 2. 3. Good. All right. So this time when we raise here and the body's sunk, we're going to use the same thing to press down. So if you're going to press down, the body needs to rise. Okay, so don't use the legs again. Just use the pushing against the floor. So your knees shouldn't move. There's no sitting like this, you notice? It's just there. Timing is what you're looking for here. So again, raise. And now compress, press. Finish the circle. Okay, again, raise. Press. You breathe in as you raise. And you breathe out as you press. It should feel like a big bellow, stretching, compressing, stretching, compressing. Okay, this is your full range of movement. Other ones are only part range, but we'll come to that one in the next movement. So 5 of these. Okay, ready? So raise, compress, raise, compress, raise, compress. Okay, relax. Some questions. Where did you feel it? Where did you feel the movement?
I did feel my spine lengthening,
Okay,
compressing, but it was
good.
more I was more feeling the energy moving rather than what was going on in my body. So
Anything else?
I felt it most in my hip area,
Okay, that's good, Peter.
the quad.
Mainly in my feet, physically in my feet with a rooting from the floor, and then everything else is energetic.
It shouldn't always be the same. You should be evolving. So the feelings and the reason I asked for the feelings is because it tells me exactly where you're at. So from your description of where you felt, I would expect, Peter, for you to feel it exactly there, because this is beginning for you. So you would see that movement going through your hips. So that's cool. I'm very happy with that. And Trish, I would expect you to feel the energy. I would work as you sort of do this to try and feel push the connection of the yin energy. So you can feel that through the bubbling well more, grip more with the toes. You weren't here when I did the foot webinar, which is a pity, but I'll be covering it again, so we'll go through it. But there's a specific sort of sequence that you use to actually plug in so that you can actually keep that yin energy with you.
I also realised about the compression, because you've told me before, until you're consciously aware of it, your chi's self-regulating.
Yep.
So the amount of compression energy will vary depending upon where my energy is on that day.
Yes, it will. So it'll remain that way unless you direct it otherwise, which of course is where we're all going, trying to get that sort of self-direction so we can actually. I'm going to do something else with you, which I wasn't going to do today, but seeing as the people that I have in front of me, I always like to respond to that rather than always to the plans that I actually have. We're going to do that same exercise again, okay? And I want you to try and do something whilst you're doing it. The yin energy that you draw from the ground should feel like floating, right? So you should feel that the hands are coming up with almost no resistance. Okay, so they're almost floating up as if they're being sort of either pushed up by air from below or just magically hoisted into the air with no effort. Now, this is very important as we get further on into the Tai Chi forms, because when we're looking at the energy within the Tai Chi forms, from this one form is where you will take the energy that you'll carry through the rest of the frame. It doesn't matter what frame you're doing. This is the beginning form here is where you'll plug it into. So try and get that when we do it again. Look for lightness. Of course, when you're compressing, it's the opposite. You're using yang energy. Yang energy is very forceful, it's very strong. So when you're pushing down with this piece, you need to actually feel the power in the yang. Allow it to be yang. Don't allow it to be neutral. Okay, so allow the yin to be yin and the yang to be yang. It might sound like a bit of a cliche, but let the energy be what it is. It's controlled by you. Like I was explaining before with the Dantiens, this mixes in your central Dantien here in the Po. When you're doing this and you're bringing this together, it's here that it compresses, not down here. And when you compress here, it should have a feeling to it. It should have a nature to it. That energy should be yin or it should be yang. Intent, is what you do with the energy that you brought in. Okay, it's not the energy itself. All right. Sung is how you relax the body to allow it to enter you and allow it to flow through you. Yi is the actual intent of what you're going to do with it. Allow it to be what it is. It's very important when we get later on, in fact, in the next movement, when you're actually looking at empty and full or yin and yang, parts of the same movement. Okay, so let's go back and do that again. So check your posture first. Don't engage the muscles. Just relax the skeleton. Allow it to sit. Allow it to hang. Allow it to be what it is. Pick up the arms again. Check that you're plugged in with the feet. Grip with the toes. Now allow the yin to fill the void as you lower the body and breathe in. There should be nothing there, almost empty. Again, same thing. If you do this right and you feel enough, you'll feel here, there. You should get a sensation there. Be mild, but you should get a sensation here. Okay. You ready? So breathing in. And once you got up to the top, allow it to change to yang now. You're pulling it down. Okay, again. Breathe in. And yang. Again. Okay. On your own. I'm going to come closer so I can see what you're doing. I'm going to ask you the same question. Where did you feel it?
For me, it started out first in the hips, then in the knees, and then one of the times I could get a small sense of heat in my hands.
That's great. That's your chi moving. That is a good development, Pedro. Actually, very good development.
I don't think I would have noticed if you don't tell me to look.
Yeah, it's only mild, but it's there. That's what you're looking for. Trish?
It was interesting feeling the yin energy just filling with emptiness. Is that a thing?
Excellent. That's what
Filling
I'm
with
for.
emptiness.
Yes.
And then the yang just went, yeah.
Yes. Now you're getting it. That's it. That's yin and yang. Okay? You feel it? It's so different. They're opposites.
They're definitely different.
Yes. Most people, when they practice Tai Chi, don't even feel one of those, never mind both of them. And you should feel that in every single movement. If it's a yang movement, you'll feel that yang energy. If it's yin, you'll feel the yin. And that's where people say to me, how can you be practicing opening form? You've been doing this for like 35 years. And yeah, of course I am. There's always something more to find. Always something more to find. And it's that. Once you plug into that, once you start moving with that, once you can recognize it, then you can start using it. That's what we're looking for here. Nice one, Trish. I like that. John?
Very yin. So I was breathing in. As I breathe in and my hands are coming up, it's, I call it substantial, but an increase in yin energy all the way up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I put my intention to yang, I only really felt that on the third movement slightly.
But this is where we start, right from the very first movement, right from the very first breathing. Don't try and bring it in later. It starts here. And if you lose it here, go back here and start again. Okay, you don't unplug an electrical appliance and then try and turn it on 3/4 of the way up the flex. You plug the plug back into the source. Tai Chi is exactly the same. You plug back into the source. When you're practicing in your own practice, you need to feel this. And if you don't feel this, go back to the beginning till you do. Don't go on to another form until you can take this with you. That's your practice. That's what you're looking for. Aping the movement of the form, I'm not being awful, that's not difficult. It might be a bit complex, and it's great for the mind to give you complexity going on in the mind. But if you want the inner energetic work of Tai Chi, this is where it starts. And this you bring through everything that you do. And guess what? I have another one for you, which you're going to love. If you thought that one was good, this one's even better. Watch this. Come on. Let's do this together. This time, let's practice it first. What I want you to do, as you push down into the middle here, okay, so the body is come up, okay, so if the body's come up, that's the opening of the bellows. The next one is a close, right? So the body's got to close. And the movement is here, all right? So the movement's very small to there. So how do you do that? You do that by bouncing energy. And this time, all we're going to use is yang energy, because the yin energy is going to be held in this leg. This is your empty leg. This is your full leg. That yang that you've pressed down here, like a spring, it's full of energy, it's full of movement, and it's full of power. And instead of just keeping it here, like you're trying to push it under the water, you're going to let it surface and you're going to push it down over your knee. So you're going to go from there to here. Okay, so it's very, again, very subtle, very small movement. So here, the body's come up. I'll exaggerate it first. So as this lifts, the body folds. And you push against the floor with the left leg here to push the weight into the right leg here. It's a very small, subtle set of movement. Don't lose the yang, because you're going to need it again in a minute. So this one is like an extended yang pole that you're going to use. This is your first set of applications. There's several in this one, but this one is the first set of power or martial applications that actually work with the full power of yang. What we're going to do is we're going to take it softly, we're going to take it slowly first and exaggerate the movement, and then we're going to put the energy into it. From here, remember what I said? So hands up, body down. Hands down, finish the circle. Oh dear. From here, feel that compression, let it go. There. So here. Get it? So drop, further, raise slightly. So like it's on a spring. Oi. Oi. Like this. The movement across is from this leg. Let's go again from here. Okay. So up. Down. Compress. There. Little release. You've compressed here. Release. You've all heard of Fajing. Okay. Fajing isn't always emanated outwards. Sometimes it's emanated inwards and round. Okay, this is round. So you're doing an and, which is the press. So again, from here, lift. Hold that compression there. You should feel it now in your legs. You should feel it in the base of your hands. Just hold it there. When you can feel it, let it go, redirect it. There. Again. Lift. Compress. Hold it. Feel it. Release it. Again. Okay. Lift. Compress. Hold it. Feel it. Release it. And guide it. Okay, I'm going to come closer so I can see what you're doing. Try it again. So lift and press. Feel for it so you can feel it first. Okay, now release it. Okay, release more, all of you. You're trying to guide it. Don't guide it. Don't control it. This isn't you. All you're doing is you're manipulating something that's already there. Don't try and change its nature. Let it be what it is. It's hard, it's harsh, and it's powerful. When you release it, like you released a spring, it'll poing, it'll spring up. Let it go up. For your homework, if you like, this is what I want you to do. Just that movement. Concentrate on the relaxation. Let the energy be what it is and allow yourself to guide it. Don't try and get hold of it or control it. Let it go. Controlling will come later. At the moment, all you need to do is to feel, allow it to be, and allow it to, you direct to where it goes, if you like, but don't control it. Let it go, all right? You can only do that if you relax. So here, as you pressed here, so here, there, you should feel the energy there. Try this, all right, so that you're cupping it. Relax here on there. And as you come through here, flick it. Let it flick it like that. Let's see the wrist move. Don't. Let me do this with your wrist a minute. Okay. And flick it. Click it. Flick it. Now do from here. Okay. Flick it. And turn it. So now you're going from here to there. From this movement here, sunk here, onto the wrists. Allow the wrists to come like this. So not this. Don't lock this. The energy you've got is reactive. It's yang. All right. It's not non-reactive yin energy. So it'll work by moving this. If you let it, right, it has energy within it. So as you've sort of pushed and finished the circle here, relax here on both of them. So here, over. So you get this lovely, see, that movement there. And now you're beginning to see the art inside the movement. So we'll go from here, so here, so we'll go from here, nice and slowly, to here. All right, so he says, and then taking the thumb and the little finger, you're going to turn those down into the wrist so that it comes up here. All right, doesn't matter which way you do that at the moment. Okay, so you come from here, you're going to come over, down, and up. Okay, so it's a full from the press down here, over, down, and up. Okay, there. One palm should be up, one palm should be out. Again. Okay, over, up. Good. One more. Over, up. Okay, good. Next part of the game. Let's go from here. Sit down, sink it in for a while. All right. Feel that heaviness. Okay. So here, right? Over. Watch here. Over. Right? Not here and not here. Still facing straight forward like this. That is where the movement is, into the choir there. Okay, so here. There. This leg is now a full leg. It should be a yang leg. You're going to push that against the floor as you scoop and shift into the other leg. Again, from here. Okay, you ready? So, over, up. Okay, over, full leg. Push that leg against the floor. Up. There. Again. Okay, from here, over, up. All right. Now, from the beginning, from here. All right. So, breathe in. Breathe out. Release. And up. This leg drives. So this time we're going to release the energy from here over to there and up to there without stopping. Okay, so here, breathe in, breathe out. Again, breathe in, breathe out. Ready? Again, try one more. Okay, try and get this. This is where we're going next week. So here, round, here, round. See how the body is doing a whole spiral? The arm just accompanies here. Let's take that nice and softly, and we'll go through it 5 times. You know where you're going now. And what we're looking at the latter part of this is this movement of spiraling through the body, because that's where we're going next week with the same movements. And that comes from this part that we're going to do next week. So it's that next part of the form that we actually need that spiral from. The circles and the flat lines, if you like, or the straight lines should now have become big circles that are going in a 360-degree manner, that you decide where they're going to go. Your body should now be pushing against the floor in order to move your weight from one side to another, not tick-tocking the body by using these muscles here and these muscles here. This movement there is what I want you to practice along with this. So you can get this movement like this. So you're not using your body to do this, you're using the legs to do this. Exaggerate it to begin with, that's fine, all right? But more and more subtle to get the same amount of movement across. As you perfect this, as you get better at it, you should be able to go from here to there with almost no visible movement in your weight shift. But from here, I've got a fully loaded right leg. As I move up here, I've now got a fully loaded left leg. You shouldn't have been able to see very much sideways movement at all because it's central to your Jing, which is in the middle here. This is the next piece that we need to work on next week. How you do this, how you shift the weight by pushing against the floor without losing contact with the energy that you've got, without shifting outside of your body spheres. Remember when we were talking earlier about pung space that's out here, inner pung space that's here? So you never want to move outside of those areas. So when you're doing your movement with your hands or with your body, they should be within the pung as your outer limit. They should be within the inner pung as your inner limit. Any applications that you're doing should always be within the inner pung area. So not close to the chest, but away from here so that you're out. So that one arm length away like this, that's the circle that you use, because that's where you manipulate your energy around. That's what you do. So the larger your TikTok of weight shifting is, the less of this you're going to have, the less control you're going to have, and the less energy transference you're going to have. So it must be kept within that central column all the time. More of that later. As we get further and further on, that'll become more and more useful. But you need to know this right from the beginning. 5 times together, okay, all the way through to there. So don't forget, unlock the arms. And as you breathe in, sink. And take it very softly now this time. And push against the floor and raise. So here, again. Lift. Press. Release. Guide. Sit. Okay, again. Lift. Press. Release. Guide. Sit. Again. Lift. Press. Release. Guide. Sit. Again. Lift. Press. Release. Guide. Sit. Excellent. Well done, everybody. That was really good.
That's a question. So remember when you did the silk reeling with us as single-handed? It's just like being in that single-handed silk reeling.
Yeah. Everything within the silk reel is within the Tai Chi forms and the frame. So all the movements are there, even the stepping movements. You just take the silk reel to the stepping movement, so you can get that coordination through the body. But yes, you should feel it. Normally, a Chinese master will often say that they'll get you to silk reel because they want to see how far you've got with your Tai Chi, how your coordination is going and how your energetic flow is moving. That's why they use it, because it's all in the silk reel, all of it. Silk reel is incredibly complex, but normally looks very simple. And unfortunately, it's taught very simply as well. But properly taught, the silk reel is incredibly complex. Everything is in it, everything. There should be no unexplained movements in Tai Chi at all. The more you do it, the more you should know. The more you should be consciously aware of. Not everything needs to be controlled. Some things need to be controlled. Some things need to be guided. Some things need to be released. This is the opening and the closing. that you often hear with Tai Chi again and again and again. You're allowing things to happen. When you want to produce an application, be it a martial application or a health application, doesn't really matter. That's when you guide it. That's when you use yourself to guide. But in order to do that, you have to be able to understand it. Tai Chi, all the internal training is about awareness. It's about you knowing. It's about you being consciously aware of what you're doing. You, as a human being, you're incredibly capable. We don't even touch it these days in our education, but we have an enormous capability that we don't even go anywhere near. But being consciously aware of things gives you immediately control over it. You may not have total control. You may only have a tiny little bit at the beginning, but you can learn control over it. That empowers you. That makes you more. So that's what Tai Chi is for. That's what internal training is for. Trish, how did you find it?
Run out of words. Sorry.
All right, it's okay.
No, it's what John was saying earlier about the energy changing as we've gone through, and yes, it definitely did, and I definitely felt that bounce and and having to guide it rather than let it just fly away.
Yeah, it will fly away if you let it. That's very true.
Yes, but what you said about guide, it was just it wanted to bounce and go all over, and I'm like, no, you have to go over here now.
That's Tai Chi. Yeah. That is Tai Chi. Exactly that. So that, yeah, you're quite right. The energy is crazy. It'll go anywhere it can get. Doesn't matter. It'll fill a void. You give it a void to fill, it will fill all of it in as many ways as it can. Tai Chi is being the person that controls that. You guide it. You manipulate it. You use it. That's what it's for. But that's Tai Chi. That's what you're learning, is to do that. You're not learning the movements. The movements are a vehicle for you to learn that. So that's why style doesn't matter. As long as the principles are there and you're doing this within the style that you're doing, it's fine. It's cool. You'll find it. It's there. Okay. Peter? How did you find
in the
today?
beginning, I found it very interesting because in the beginning, I think a little bit what John said about being unorganized and not so very well balanced. Because I've been out walking, that's why I was late to the class. So I was a little bit all over the place. But the more we did the exercises, the more I went from just feeling the hip area to more to the weight into the feet and also more balanced overall.
Good.
So it was very good exercise.
Yeah, you're doing really well, Peter. I need to commend you on what you're doing because you've picked up a class with people in it that have been doing Tai Chi for 20 years. And you're holding your own, mate. Well done. You're doing a bloody good job there, actually. So,
Thank you.
so well done. Peter's not done any Tai Chi. Before he met me, well, a couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago, at a concert for a really great Balkan band. We've had lots of fikas since then, and his back problem has improved hugely with the Qigong, the back pain Qigong course that we've got. Nah, he's hooked now, so that's it. You're in for life, mate. So, and you're only young, so you've got a lot of this to come. So, but you're doing a damn good job, mate. Well done. It's cool. Okay.
It may sound a lot to start off with, but this was how I was originally taught, and I didn't realize how much I'd missed all this additional information by going to that just taught you the choreography.
Yeah, it's really important. This is the whole thing when Chen Yu, Master Gao, and Fang said to me, go back, teach it this way. This is the way Tai Chi should be taught. It's not the way it is taught in 90% of classes, but this is the way it's taught. It's a lifetime study. It's about taking you from one place and taking you to where you can be as a human being. It's not a small thing, but it's often reduced to a small thing. But I use elements of it. I see a lot of very odd versions of Tai Chi. I'm not bothered by the odd versions at all, as long as the principles are correct. As long as this core is still there, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference, because this is what actually matters. It's life tools. They don't go away. I mean, I'm 143. I look good at 143. So if everybody's happy, we'll call it a day there. It's a bit of a long class today, but that's okay. We will reconvene next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Cool,
Thank
folks.
you.
See you, everyone.
See you soon. All right. Have a lovely weekend. All right. Or
See
lovely
you.
week. Okay. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.